more time physically warming up, getting ready for the show. Myself, since I'm not a singer, I also take singing lessons, take commercial class, whatever. I try to do other things because I am primarily a dancer, but I'm trying to sort of open up and find other avenues. Some of the singers, it's a little different day. I mean, you spend a lot of time auditioning too. I mean, not as much as dancing because we're like this rare show that has stayed open for so long. But most of the time, just because you get a Broadway show that's open, it doesn't mean it's going to last. We kind of are always looking for the next job too. We spend a lot of our days auditioning too.
Yeah, the basic day is that people have their different things. They'll go to an audition. They have families, but what happens every day is at 7:30 you have to be at the theater and you do this same exact show 8 times a week.
Also, if you're understudy too, I forgot that.
Yeah, we do.
And you have rehearsal.
We do 2 shows Wednesday, 2 shows Saturday. Everybody in that company is most, except for ballerinas, although some ballerinas cover the role of Meg, but most everyone has an understudy position that they do. Usually once a week, everybody gets together and you go through the show to keep it fresh. And so some weeks it can be really busy. Some weeks the director, Hal Prince, will decide to come and work with the cast for 2 days. So then you have to switch your schedule around, and they're required to. We have to give them at least 12 hours of rehearsal a week. That's part of it. They can call us whenever. Is that not right? 12?
That is right. And they only have to give you 24 hours notice technically. So the night before last, they called a rehearsal for today. So if you're an understudy, you just sort of have to almost, except for Monday, that's really the only day you're guaranteed to have free. You sort of have to, keep your dates, and you might have to cancel a doctor's appointment or whatever because you might have to be there on Thursday or Friday or whatever. Also, if someone new comes in, that means everybody comes in. So it sort of varies.
Yeah. The fun thing, and then actually when we're at the show, I can tell you a little bit about what happens. It's a very small space backstage, really, really, really tiny. There's a whole, what you're seeing on stage is just half the story. There's a huge amount of cast. There's probably 100 people in the building all working at once in a space about the size of, about this. Everybody's on top of each other, and everybody has a path backstage to go to, and when you're supposed to be out of the way, when someone has a quick change, when they have to run through. It's very tight. And then the other thing that I like to share is that, people, that come see the show think, we're backstage and warming up and really into it. When we're into a run, and we've been doing it for about 2 weeks, you get into a comfort zone, and most of us can just, do whatever we want and then go on stage and just do what we have to do. So, for instance, I'm a big baseball fan, so I make sure there's a TV on, and I get to be friends with some of the crew guys. And so I'll go down, and since I'm a Red Sox fan, I go down and take a lot of heat for not being a Yankee fan. That's what I do most shows. They make me cry. And, there's always some story going on backstage. It's very much like an adult high school. Somebody's gotten in trouble from somebody else. Somebody did something wrong on stage. Did you hear about that? It's just constant.
Somebody sneezed last night on stage. It's right in this number that I just taught you, and you would have thought, like, oh my God, did you hear she sneezed? It was like the huge gossip the whole night. Everyone was talking about how loud she sneezed. We do the same thing 8 times a week, so little things are hilarious.
And if you see anything happen tonight, you go, is that a mess up? You look for shoulders going up and down because they're trying not to laugh. Because for some reason, anything different that happens, we're like, yes! Because we literally, it's like factory work. We do the same thing every night. And so whether it's a new cast member that comes in, and the new cast member will all be like, I think they're going to make it. Do it for a show, I don't know, we'll see, and everybody watches, and we look for different things to keep us going because it is difficult to do 8 shows a week for a long period of time. You're actually going to see someone tonight in the show named George Lee Andrews that's been in the show for 21 years. He's been in from the beginning, and he is he's amazing, and you can't even tell. He comes out fresh every day. He's learned. He's the king.
He's like the happiest
keeping it
man
fresh.
ever.
He really is. He's going to be playing the one of the theater owners, the funny theater owner.
Older manager.
One more question.
When you reflect back on your career, how nervous, how anxious were you to start? Were you for sure that you were going to do this? How did you go about actually doing your first show? What did you mess up?
I definitely did not know I wanted to do this business. I was very insecure, still am at times. And kidding. And so it takes a lot of personal strength. Figuring out when and when it's right and if it isn't right. We all have passion for doing it. It's just when when does it come clear in your life that it's worth going through all the things you go through? I grew up in New Hampshire, a very small town. I moved here, I freaked out and left.